what he told you. When I was talking to Emma yesterday, we came across very many similar thoughts about the way that business is going. And so, yes, we will talk about his business, but more importantly about some of the ways that we see things going.
Yeah.
So perhaps you'd like to start by telling us a bit about how you got to where you are and a bit about the business you have.
Yeah, actually, thank you for having me, by the way. I started my career 16 years ago at a bank. I feel like I'm still a banker doing fintech. This is so important. When I was started back then 2004 at Guarantee Payment Systems, actually we had an opportunity to build the whole payment ecosystem for e-commerce players when the market are not saturated. It is so important because even the big players like eBay, Sahibi, and Hepsiburada.com from the market were so small. They need something to be covered by the banks. That's why we started building something to cover their needs. And I had this opportunity to see how the market evolves from back those then till now. Then I spent almost 13 years by dealing just the vertical payment, online payments in the market. And for the last 5 years, almost 6 years, the Naspers PayU found me to be able to penetrate the PayU businesses to Turkey, which is a payment service provider. Then I started at PayU, which is one of the first fintech companies in the country. It was very hard times because we were teaching everyone what the PSPs look like in the market, how the market will evolve for the last 3 years or 5 years, etc. We spent almost 1 year to convince everyone to build the first PSP in the market. Then we got lots of great followers. You heard about Iyzico today. They got great job. If you ask me, 30 millions, it's a great opportunity for us to move further from the country. And we started doing business here in Turkey as well. So if you look at the PayU though, we are treating ourselves as a multi-local company, by the way. We are not local, we are not global as well. Because wherever we are in 16 countries currently, we are just going there, we are just focusing the local needs to fix them first. Then we put everything within the same API with just one agreement and pricing scheme for the local companies and the global ones as well. Actually, that's the sweet spot what we have as PayU. This is one of the reasons why we got Facebook in Nigeria, why we started processing Uber in South Africa. Then we rolled this out to the other countries we run as well. As a merchant, you need lots of payment-related issues if you sell online, which is obvious that. And you need a partner to fix it with just one API for all around the world. This is so important. That's why being a global is the key, and acting local also the biggest sweet spot what we have currently. Then at the end of that, we have currently more than 250K online merchants, actually from all around the world. India is growing very fast, for instance. We started investing into the fintech companies. For instance, we just invested in Citrus Pay and Zen's Money in India. Just happened 2 months ago, and we spent almost 140 million US there. And now we are closing another deal in LATAM. That's a fintech 2.0, as we discussed, because we are 15 years companies, and we need to be evolved as well. Because the world is changing, we need to disrupt even ourselves. This is what we are thinking in PayU and Naspers. Naspers is
pure competitive against the next guy who's doing the same thing.
No, being competitive is, if you just talk about the price, is ridiculous, unfortunately. Yeah. If you have such new kind of services that you can enable, leverage the markets itself, then you are competitive, actually. Yeah. I mean, being the biggest doesn't make any sense to me and to PayU as well. Being the best is what we are chasing currently. That's why we are focusing on that kind of services by cooperating with other financial services like MasterCard, Visa, acquirers, issuers. If we are talking about Turkey, it is Interbank Card Center as well, because they have great networks. We cannot build that network from scratch.
This is a trend as we move forward, say over the next 10 years, that businesses become more cooperative, working together to get a better product rather than necessarily going out and trying to kill the man next door.
It is a great strategy if you have a clear go-to-market timeline, roadmap, etc., whatever it is. Because it is cheap, you start doing business just in 2 months or 3 months instead of building something from scratch. You go there, you start learning, you deepen your relationship between those people, I mean, you started cooperating. If you have enough money, if you have investors behind or something like that, then you can go further, investing to them, taking them to their another steps, expanding their businesses to other countries as well. This is what we are doing currently. We start doing something in Latin America, for instance, in Argentina. We give it a try, we learn how it works, we put it into our API, then we try it in Turkey as well. If it goes very well, then we start negotiating with those guys, okay, let's invest into you to expand it as a pay-you brand in other countries we run as well. This is the way what we are doing currently.
Interesting. We've seen a lot of businesses here over the last couple of days. I mean, we saw 50 yesterday. Have you got any thoughts on the businesses that you've seen and whether there are things that you would say to them that would actually be a benefit to them?
Yeah, I like some of them. They need a strategic partner, first of all, instead money. Money can be found from everywhere, but if you have a strategic partner holding money, which is better, of course, then you can expand your business, then you can get that scale, can be monetized by you.
I was quite interested yesterday watching them myself that we had, goodness knows how many times, million, billion and trillion came out. And I sometimes felt that there was a need to focus more, because if you say your market is the world, I've always believed if you try and sell to everybody, you'll end up selling to nobody.
Yes, it is. And they need to actually start finishing and stop starting. This is so obvious. They need to get things done to move further. Otherwise, they are just losing their focus, which is what we see.
Yes, I mean,